Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, so I think this is the last session, but it is very important one. Let me market this. So this session hovers around the circular economy, and we have the August panel here. So let me give a few glimpses about the circular economy and what we are today. So as we all know that in today's world, like we're running after the life which is quick and we can deliver very quickly. It is actually called linear economy, wherein we make, use and then dispose, and that leads to a lot of wastage. And we do not go for RRR. So let us not think that RRR is the learning from the movie RRR. So RRR is nothing but reduce, reuse, recycle. So that brings us to the topic that for going into a complete circle, there is a mandate, there is a requirement to make this earth more sustainable rather than going for speed and variance. There should be adoption of the new age technology where we can improve the efficiency of whatever we are consuming so that we can reduce it. And we expect that in case we do it in a proper way, as of now, around $820 billion are being spent in last one decade in just input consumption. What we believe that in case we do a kind of the circular economy initiatives, that can be reduced by 1/3. As the topic goes, today it is about circular economy through decarbonization and electrification stage. We have people who are the experts of their field into how to generate power into convert into electricity or how to use digital technology. So without taking much time, we have 4 panels which are now slated. The first one which I will request is, the topic is the digital energy grid enabling billion homes as mini power station. This is by Mr. Dharmveer, and he is CEO of PowerXchange Innovation, and he is actually a blockchain specialist. So I think it will be great to hear him that how blockchain can make the usage of circular economy into the electrical grid. So I request Dharmveer, please take the stage and make us understand this. Thank you.
Thank you everyone, and very good evening. My name is Dharmveer Singh. I am the co-founder and CEO of PowerXchange Innovations Private Limited. And PowerXchange is a energy tech company focused on the consumer choices or consumer technology and the utility scaled based technology stack based company, right? So recently we have launched the peer-to-peer energy transactions on blockchain in Uttar Pradesh in the association with the Uttar Pradesh Power Corporation Limited, and recently we are also doing the pilot with the Ministry of Power for the India Energy Stack, one of the first kind of its pilot in the India for the India Energy Stack on the peer-to-peer energy trading, and we are showcasing on the in the upcoming AI impact event, which is scheduled on the 16th to 20th February in New Delhi. Right. So India's energy transition. So we all know that we are witnessing the green energy revolution, right? So India already achieved the green energy targets, right? Recently we have crossed the total 300 gigawatt installations or combined green energy, right? In which 140 gigawatt is contributed by the itself solar, and in 140 gigawatt 24 gigawatt is already installed on the rooftop solar. So today I will talk only about the rooftop solar. So basically the small mini power stations, right? So every home have the capability to transform into the mini power stations, right? So the recently Ministry of New and Renewable Energy pushing the PM Surghar Yojana, right? So under the PM Surghar Yojana, 78,000 total rupees up to 3 kilowatt is available for the subsidy if we install the 3 kilowatt install. But why the rooftop solar is basically have the limitations, right? Because in the urban area it makes sense, but in the rural area today is the rooftop solar energy makes sense, right? Because in the rural area or people already get the subsidized bill, they already get the 100 rupee or 200 rupee bills. In that situation is that rooftop solar it really make the sense, right? So we need kind of the programs or digital energy programs which support the rural uh, area solar energy adoption as well. So one of in this direction, peer-to-peer energy is the one of the kind of solution which makes sense in the rural area as well, because it can create the passive income for the farmers. It can create the passive income for the basically home owners which can install the rooftop solar in its rooftop. So basically as per the study and as per the research, the total energy, total solar rooftop installed on the rooftop under the PM Surghar Yojana, 60% of energy is consumed by the under the net metering by itself by the user, and up to 30 to 35% it's injected to the grid. But in some state people didn't get anything for the injected energy, and few state they get the feed-in tariff rates. But feed-in tariff rates currently it's vary from 2.5 rupee to 3 rupees, right? So why the people will uh, getting only 3 rupees? If they are getting 3 rupees, so it's not the enough innovation for the rooftop solar installation. So in few countries like Australia and the US already witnessing the B2B energy innovations, and now it's time for the India. Right? So I will take basically in the different direction. So I will like to implicate that how much effort does it take to turn on a light bulb, right? It seems pretty simple. Flip a switch and the light turns on, right? But behind that glow, we most of us are unaware that behind that simple act lies an enormous, individual, complex network of power plant, transmission lines, and transformer meters, and multiple appliances, all working in silos to deliver that one flicker of light. Right? But why is this a problem? Because fragmented coordination due to silos working. If one state has the four distribution company, so they are unable to coordinate within the same regulatory area. So one distribution company cannot talk to the another in terms of data, right? Because their data is in the silos, right? And infrequent innovation in the energy sectors, delays in the digitalization adoption, lack of consumer participation and the consumer trust and local energy marketplace. So basically, till now, we have understood that the way we energy consume it came from the grid, right? And we need to pay for the bill whatever it's coming, right? So uh, people never thought that if I can reduce the bill, or if I can generate the revenue from the electricity, because the way we have consumed the energy in the past, it was different perception, right? So now in the energy revolution, we need to change the perception. So the lack of consumer participation is the one of the most prominent factor for this thing. Lack of standardization and interoperability. Interoperability means the one discom cannot talk to the other discom in terms of data, right? Limitation of grid participation and RTS adoption, right? So the solution, the recently Ministry of Power launched the India Energy Stack, right? So India Energy Stack is the digital public infrastructure for energy, recently launched by Ministry of Power in May 2025. It is inspired by the success of Aadhaar, UPI, ONDC, and the account aggregator, right? So So there are the few use cases of the India Energy Stack, which is the unified uh, digital platform where and the second is the peer-to-peer energy marketplace and smart grid and automation. So I will talk today one of the prominent use cases of the peer-to-peer energy marketplace. So what is the peer-to-peer energy trading? So imagine a world where the people can generate the energy or they can share to each other. So right, the energy is generated by the people for the people. So basically it's the democratization of the energy, right? So if I have the access rooftop solar energy and if I can share to the neighbor on the mutual agreed price, right? So there is less involvement of the distribution company and they can enable the settlement between the two participants through the uh, basically smart meters, right? So uh, this is the P2P energy trading, right? So why P2P energy trading is important? Because as I mentioned, the currently limited groups of solar adoption in the rural area. Everyone is pushing in the urban area, but actual people lies in the rural area. So most of homes are in the rural area, right? Because in urban cities, most of are the high-rise buildings. So if we are targeting the 1 crore homes or above the 1 crore homes by 2030 because it's the uh, vision for the PM Surghar Yojana that they need to achieve the 1 crore homes by 2030, but without targeting the rural area it's not the possible, right? And of course after the RE integration uh, we need to stabilize the grid. And third is the lack of market driven pricing. Lack of market driven pricing means the way we consume energy today is that whatever the bill will come we need to pay, right? But after this kind of local energy marketplaces, if we want to reduce our bills and if all or we need to create the passive income through the energy marketplace, we can, because this is the basically democratization. So basically we have uh, we can use our rooftop okay. So the current state regulatory guidelines and key initiatives are Uttar Pradesh already given the guidelines for the P2P energy trading, followed by Delhi, followed by Karnataka, followed by Kerala, and recently few days back the draft of draft of electricity national electricity policy also mentioned the P2P energy trading. And India Energy Stack is also targeting the one of the first use cases for the P2P energy trading, where we are targeting the energy trading between two states, Uttar Pradesh and Delhi. So in uh, 16 to 20 February, we will witness the one of the first interstate pilot between the uh, Uttar Pradesh and Delhi and PowerXchange, and we are the one of the TSP for that pilot. So vision every household as a power node, as I mentioned, basically every consumer can be a prosumer or can be a trader, and they can trade to each other. So making the every home as a mini power station, empowering citizen through a digital participation. Every citizen can generate, store, and sell clean energy. Transparent digital records ensure trust and accountability. So we all hear that energy is the next TPI. So it will be uh, for sure the next TPI. So basically based on the next TPI, we are targeting the technology like unified energy interface. So the concept is governed by the unified energy interface. So it is the basically standardized um, open and interoperable protocol based technology where any consumer app can participate on the network like ONDC. So if you see that on ONDC, anyone can launch as a buyer application, anyone can launch as a seller application. Similarly, on this technology, anyone can launch as a buyer application on this energy network, anyone can launch as a seller network. So what will be the impact and outcome of this P2P energy transaction? Of course, economic empowerment. It enables the new revenue streams for the farmers and the rural area citizens to generate the passive income, and the social empowerment it will bring energy access to underserved and the remote communities as well, right? So they can also uh, part of this, and of course environmental impacts. We will reduce the carbon emission through the, because more and more people will use the energy generated by each other. So this is the kind of trading network architecture which we implemented in the Uttar Pradesh under the UPPCL, Uttar Pradesh Power Corporation Limited. So basically BAP layer is the buyer side and BPP layer is the seller side. So there is multiple buyer application can be there and multiple seller application can be there. They can basically they can trade to any one platform. So the trade can happen on this kind of network. So due to I think constant of time, so I am available here. So my if anyone have the question, of course we can take up after the presentation. So thank you so much. Okay.
So I request Sreejit Basu, Chief Manager IOCL. He's an expert into biofuels and alternate energy from IOCL. So I request please come and take the stage and explain us. Thank you.
So let me take you to Spain 9 months ago. That's on 28 April 2025. It was a warm day. People were scrolling their phones in a cafe. Suddenly the lights started to flicker. They went out. People were traveling in metro railways underground, which is the mainstay in Madrid. So suddenly there also the train stopped. There was panic everywhere. And also the lights also went out. People were scrolling on their phones. Suddenly no signal. And this is also underground. So suddenly the entire Spain's grid was affected, and we have been hearing since a few days, I think, on gigawatt solar energy. So let's see what happens when the sun shines but there is no light. So this is what happened in Spain. If you see the Spanish capacity, there is about 130 gigawatt of total capacity in Spain, 32 gigawatts of solar, 32 gigawatt on wind. And on that day, about 80%, 82% of Spain's grid was running on renewable energy. Spain, if you understand the geography, it's in the corner of Europe. So there are little interconnections with Portugal, with France, and with Morocco. And here also Portugal was running on more than 90% renewable energy. France has a little lower renewable energy due to its nuclear power. So basically what happened was that there were sudden generation trips. From there was frequency drops, and at 12:33, due to the production devices, the AC overhead lines between France and Spain stopped. There, by 12:33, there was a total system collapse, and the entire south of Europe network, that's Spain, Portugal, as well as Morocco and southern France, there were power outages. The total population affected was about 60 million people through this blackout. So if you see here, solar was 19 gigawatt at 12:30. It crashed down by 1:30 to 5 gigawatt. It may be more clear from this graph. There was a drop in the real demand of 15 gigawatt, and I'll come to the reasons. But it's mainly due to the solar capacity drop, while other things were functioning, and slowly the nuclear was also taken off of the grid due to its auto stop facilities. So there was a total system collapse. If you see in the map, then the railway network got disconnected. There was power outages across southern France, Spain, and Portugal. So why did this happen? The greater amount of renewable energy in the mix. If you see the frequency drops on that day, it started with one oscillation event, then a second oscillation event. There was a huge loss of generation. All the networks were stopped and the interconnections were stopped. If you see, there was a reduction of 1 hertz of frequency in 1 second. If this happens in India, this fall will be much more catastrophic than what happened in Spain due to our much larger capacity being used here. So the effect, Spain lost, the business claims that Spain lost about 0.1% of its GDP, calculated at about $1.6 billion. And an equivalent shock in the Indian economy that will be much times, a large times than what was there in Spain. It took about 19 hours for systems to normalize. This is because there were black start facilities across Spain, Portugal, especially depending upon hydel power, but it took 19 hours for situations to normalize. So turning off lights is easy, but turning them back on, it takes time. And in India, if something similar happens, it will take a much larger amount of time. So who's the villain? Due to the, if you see, the villain here is the system inertia. What happens is that when you have larger mechanical capacities like thermal power, then the grid inertia is more. It can be better explained from this figure. If the amount of water here is larger, the system frequency is larger. So if there is some generation drop also, if the generation reduces, but the demand keeps the same, still the things are not affected. But if this system inertia reduces, especially due to renewable energies, or if interconnections which do not have larger mechanical power, like or larger kinetic energies through the rotating mass, like turbines, then what happens is that you are drawing out water. Here the water is less, so this frequency drop will be much larger in percentage. And this is exactly what happened in Spain. Also, we have all heard about duck curves, and it especially happens where the solar capacity is increasing. The total net generation from the total load net of solar. So there is a sudden drop because the solar capacity is increased in the afternoon hours and reduced in the evenings when your normal capacity of thermal power or other base loads have to be increased. Here, if you see in Spain also on that day, on 27th April, there a duck curve was being formed where solar of the total capacity went abnormally high. Also, there was a decrease in synchronous inertia, and it also happened that this was not a sudden phenomenon. There were indications of things happening across Spain before this also, but people ignored it. So therefore, there is a need of synthetic inertia or grid forming inverters or energy storage to take care of such generation issues. Just for an example, energy storage with wind turbine generators offer 45% more inertia than normal wind turbine generators. So we require controllable load, fast reacting power electronics, intelligent control systems, and energy storage to take care of this. Was this preventable? If you can see from these numbers, this was preventable. In UK, the fast frequency response, they have built it up in their energy systems. So the fast frequency response, there is 1350 megawatt of fast frequency response within 1 second. If you see Spain, it's 15 seconds. So herein lies the problem. If you have a 15-second response time, then the grid is more relying on luck rather than built-in systems. And we are also not too much better. I'll come to our data also. So there may be the Spanish blackout exposed the critical gaps in this system, and near zero instantaneous inertia reserves worsened here. If you see the Indian scenario, our renewable energy, the capacity part is there about 32%, but if you see the actual generation from renewable energy, it's still 13%, solar and wind I'm talking about. So, but still we had 68 events where there was a generation loss of more than 1 gigawatt in our grids. What also happened is that our total generation capacity is increasing, but the overall grid inertia is reducing, and our modeling says that a 40% reduction in from the present levels may cause such catastrophic implications. This was from Grid India, who had done extensive modeling on the Indian grid. If you can see from the data, from 2013 to 21, the data which is available from Grid India, there is a drop in the inertia. And this is due to higher penetration of solar. Also, our main load, that is agricultural load, is at the night hours, which uses mechanical loads rather than in the day hours. So that's also there, and it's estimated that if there is a rate of change of frequency, ROCOF, if it is less than 0.2 hertz per second, then and the risk threshold increases by more than 40%. So, but still, as we have seen, there is a large amount of thermal power still in our system. So that reduces the effect, but in future we are planning large amount of renewable energy from the present 156 gigawatt. So with that, the grid instability will keep on increasing. So what should be the solutions? The visibility of, ultimately, first thing is accounting or measuring what's the problem. So Grid India has been doing that. Earlier POSCO, they have been doing that. They are publishing dashboards in which the various grid instabilities are being shown. They are also enhancing the observability of the grids, because in India there is also another problem. If you see, these solar generating areas are mostly on the western part. So instabilities may be observed in certain pockets of India rather than across India. So that also has to be taken care of. Other than that, grid hygiene has to be maintained. This is in the nearer term of about 1 year. In the long mid-term, a market creation has to be there. As you have seen for UK, the fast frequency response, there is a market which has been created. So how this will be created? This will be created through intelligent systems, through energy storage systems, and also more and more renewable energy comes in, you have to increase some sort of more intelligent power systems so that this issues doesn't arise. There should be an extended participation of by the RE plants in this energy storage as well as the stabilization devices, and strict compliances has to be enforced so that our grid doesn't face such catastrophic issues. In the long term, there has to be a technology shift, definitely, with grid stabilization being a main factor towards procurement of renewable energy. As you have seen from recent tenders also, eastern states like West Bengal and Bihar have been buying thermal power rather than renewable energy. Their recent tenders have been thermal energy procurements, and recent all tenders of renewable energy comes with some sort of storage. So it may be pumped hydro or battery or maybe round the clock power. As future thing, maybe there should be a standards in which such factors or such disruptions should be factored in the grid. So ultimately, the energy transition is not about installing capacity, it's about building resilience in the grid so that tomorrow's grid, we do not face any catastrophic issues, and no, it's not affected in our GDP. Thank you. This is from me.
So, Sreejit, really thanks for taking this point, and this issue is quite close to my heart as well. So, our third presentation is exactly about that. I would like to invite Dr. Valerijs Knazkins, I hope I pronounced correctly. He's Principal Data Science and AI Specialist from ABB. He has 2 decades of international experience across industries and academia. So it will be great to hear from Doctor to speak about such a useful topic. You are invited here. Please come take the stage.
So, good afternoon. My name is Valerijs Knazkins. I am with ABB Switzerland, business line power reliability. Today I am going to present our work on real-time monitoring and control for power plants and how we can transform power plant operations through digital intelligence. I will cover 4 items shown on the slide, namely, first the challenge, the solution, key takeaways and measurable benefits, and next steps and conclusions will finalize my presentation today. Now, this slide summarizes why the present situation might not be enough. Namely, we can see an increased level of renewable energy sources, which brings also intermittency in the generation, right? Then we can also see reduced system inertia and somewhat shrinking stability margins. And the operators are facing growing operational complexity and uncertainty. So this is also seen as a challenge, right? We can also see that the infrastructure is aging and the control systems might be degrading just because the operating points in the system change. So this actually forces the operator to have a real-time situational awareness into the power plant operation and also into the grid. So, and we also can notice that reactive maintenance might lead to unexpected failures, and it might be quite costly. So this slide summarizes our solution, our answer to those challenges, which is to say, I'd like to present the ABB's Power Insights digital platform, which supports both real-time monitoring and control and advanced analytics. A key element of the platform is the physics-based digital twin, which operates in the background. We also rely heavily on predictive maintenance and performance optimization, which can be achieved through this digital platform. By design, it allows for seamless integration with the existing power plant control systems. In the beginning, we were actually thinking of a design which is flexible and scalable, which is to say, the architecture allows us to deploy it locally on premises or in the cloud. As for the platform objectives, those are also listed in here, and I would like to mention first of all the situational awareness. it gives us the possibility to have real-time visibility into the power plant operation, into the grid operation, and estimate the grid conditions to see where the power plant is. Is this operating point stable or insufficiently stable, right? So another objective of the platform is the predictive maintenance. We are aiming at early detection of equipment degradation. In doing so, we can convert the maintenance into a planning action, not an urgent action. As for the performance optimization, with this platform we can also optimize our controllers, and this in turn will help us to increase stability margins and increase the efficiency of the control loops found in our control systems. With the platform, we also aim to mitigate the risks which are inherent in the operation of a complex dynamic system, such as power systems, for instance. So we proactively identify the risks, the operation risks, and try to mitigate them before something occurs. And the platform enables the operational excellence for the operator, because the decisions will be quite well grounded, and those will be supported by the data-driven analytics. So this slide summarizes two deployment options for the operator. On the left, you can see the first one, which is on premises. If full data sovereignty and security are the requirements of the operator, this is the best option. Here, the integration of the platform will be quite simple and will rely solely on the power plant's IT infrastructure. It also offers a low latency real-time signal processing, so that's quite convenient. On the other hand, on the right, you can see the cloud deployment, which can rely on scalable computing resources, multi-site aggregation, which is also important because this way we can get the view of a complete fleet of generators across a power system, right? And with the cloud deployment, enablement of advanced AI and machine learning techniques will become somewhat simpler and faster. And obviously, it can also reduce the infrastructure costs. So those two deployment possibilities are shown on this slide. As for the platform architecture, on a high level, it can be said that it consists of 5 major building blocks. Those are presented in here. This is a data collection and conversion module, storage, a cloud infrastructure, a front end, and an intelligent analytics module. As for the analytics engine behind, it runs several functions such as real-time state estimation, stability margin calculations, performance degradation detection, and many others. For the sake of respecting the time, not everything is shown here, just a small fraction of what we actually do. On the visualization side, we can say that we designed interactive dashboards, automated alarm generation, and trend analysis and reporting. One such example you can see on the right of this slide, which shows basic operation of an excitation system. And at the bottom you can see actually the notification area and basic performance criteria are also shown in this dashboard. Here I would like to say what we compute. And as for the computation, those are subdivided into 3 layers shown in this slide. First of all, real-time computations. There we calculate system frequency and damping analysis. Then we also perform voltage stability assessment, and we do power oscillation detection. Why it is important? It will be a little bit clearer closer to the end of the presentation. We also have next layer, which is predictive analytics. There we calculate controller loop performance degradation, right? And we also look at the excitation system health monitoring. This is also an important part of our work. And finally, generator capability curve validation, just to make sure that the generator is operating within a safe operating region. The next layer of computation is the optimization part. There we do optimal controller parameter calculation and tuning. Then we also propose settings for improved stability margins, so we can enhance them. And also we do operational constraint management in this chunk of computation. As for the deployment, we deploy in phases to bring and create value early and reduce deployment risks. The first phase is called situational awareness. The objectives of this phase are quite simple. We establish real-time monitoring infrastructure. We provide operators with enhanced visibility into the operation of the power plant and the grid. And we create baseline performance metrics for the generator. The key features of this phase are also identified in here as live data streaming and visualization, frequency and voltage monitoring, historical data archiving, basic alarms and notification system. As for the status as of today, we can say that we have a pilot plant where the system is installed and provides live data, which enables us to analyze it and further improve our platform. Phase 2 is a move from visualization, from visibility into intelligence. So the objectives of this phase are as follows. We would like to deploy advanced analytics and digital twin. We would like to enable predictive maintenance capabilities and optimize controller performance. Here it's important to say that our digital twin is our basis, because we would like to have a solid foundation which provides us explainability of the operation. And when it comes to AI parts, they will provide actually with advanced features on top of the basic physics-based models such as the digital twin. Now, as for the key features of this phase, those are identified in here. Physics-based digital twin models, which will be incorporated and deployed. We also incorporate controller degradation detection, automated system identification, controller parameter optimization, recommendations, right? We don't allow the platform to do anything without the operator explicitly allowing it. As for the status, we are going through the validation phase at the pilot plant. We collect the data and we improve our algorithms. So here I would like to show you a realistic operational challenge which echoes the presentation of Mr. Basu. If you remember his presentation at 11 minutes 22 seconds, the slide was entitled Frequency, and there we could see some oscillations in the European power grid. Now, I would like to relate that slide to my slide, which I'm showing in here. Now, what do we see? On the right-hand side, we can see a plot. It has a horizontal axis and a vertical axis. On the horizontal axis, we see frequencies. On the vertical axis, we see a quantity which is inverse to the damping of the synchronous machine. The higher the curve, the less the damping, right? So, what we can see that at some specific frequency, the damping is minimum. So we obviously cannot accept this situation, so we tune a power system stabilizer. This is an integral part of the excitation system software. So with this PSS enabled, we can effectively damp the oscillation. As you can see, this peak is now reduced. Please take a look at the light blue curve. So everything is perfect up to now. Should the operating point change, the green line shows it, all of a sudden we realize that we simply do not provide any damping anymore. For the inter-area mode, the damping gets reduced. The PSS, which was supposed to increase the damping, suddenly decreases it. That's a problem. So now, For the digital twin technology I already mentioned, it relies on several techniques such as differential algebraic equations, generator extension, and control loop modeling with them. Network equations and power flow are also taken into consideration. System identification is also a big part of our digital twin technology. This digital twin enables several applications such as performance degradation detection, what-if scenario analysis, and control loop optimization. So we also look forward to AI and machine learning integration, but in a controlled way. Once this is done, we will be able to perform anomaly detection using neural network, predictive maintenance scheduling, automated root cause analysis, which should also be possible, and adaptive control recommendations. So in this way, we will be able to combine our domain expertise with new technologies such as AI. As for the measurable benefits, those are measured across 3 axes, such as reliability, efficiency, and economics. As of today, the power plant deployment is done. We are happy with the platform. It's operational since mid-2024. It provides us with continuous data, which allows us to calibrate our digital twin models. And the next steps would be extension to additional units, integration of machine learning and AI capabilities, and multi-site deployment. Key takeaways. Now we are facing the paradigm shift from reactive to proactive power plant operation. It becomes a proven technology. The values are measurable across reliability, efficiency, and economics. The platform is scalable and ready for multi-site deployment and AI integration. In conclusions, the ABB Power Insights platform represents a significant advancement in power plant digital transformation. It addresses critical operational challenges in modern grid, combines proven physics-based methods with emerging technologies such as AI. It delivers measurable benefits in reliability and efficiency. It's successfully validated in real-world deployments. Most importantly, it positions operators for the future of power grid operations, which are characterized by predictive, proactive, and data-driven decision-making. Thank you very much.
So thanks, wonderful. It was like, and I think it is quite intuitive. Maybe Nike, as the time comes, it will be required to adopt this across all the power plant across India and globe as well. So I think my last speaker, but not the least one, is going to touch upon on those aspects like decarbonizing industrial energy systems through electrification of prime movers and DC grid. I would like to invite Dr. Suvadeep Sen from Siemens India. He leads innovation and emerging technology, and he has a global experience into R&D. So we'd like to hear you from this. Please, you are welcome here. Thanks.
Good evening, and thanks for staying back for the last session. I would try to make it as interesting as possible, and thanks for the kind introduction. The global industrial sector constitutes of about 24% of the total carbon dioxide emissions today, and the number is similar for India. Out of the total carbon dioxide emissions from the industries, about 26% comes from machine drives. So let's have a look at what a machine drive is and what is the problem statement that we are talking of. So in oil and gas, there are numerous compressors that are run using turbines, be it gas driven or steam driven, and the problem to that is there's a lot of emissions. So it's a problem and we need to solve it. What is the size of the problem in India? It's quite huge. More than 600 such compressors greater than 3 megawatts operate in the country today. So it's the size of the problem is quite significant. Is there enough motivation to solve it? Yes, we have our own net zero goals. You hear our Prime Minister and everybody talking about it. And upon the impending CCTS, which is expected to be here anytime this year, so we have enough motivations to solve it. So we have a problem, we have a size of a problem which is significant, and we have enough motivation to solve it. Now, what is the solution? So we know that India's renewable energy and the storage story is accelerating at a pace which is not seen anywhere else in the world. Can we leverage this? The answer is probably yes. The solution or the proposal here is to move from fossil fuel based generation which drives machines, gas turbines and steam turbines, into electrification. So carbon avoidance through electrification powered by renewable energy is a pragmatic choice for industrial decarbonization. So the idea here is to avoid the carbon molecules in the first place rather than emitting CO2 and capturing it. So on the top, you see that this is the current situation today. To produce 20 megawatts of compression energy, you need equivalent of about 60 megawatts of fuel, because the turbine efficiencies are at about 30 to 35%. This would have been a good solution probably 20 years back when we didn't have innovative solutions enough to electrify this. Now, if we have a look at the image below, that's the solution, converting it into electrical drives, which jumps the efficiency from 35% to about 94% for the drive itself. That means you need about 21 megawatts of equivalent energy to get about 20 megawatts of output. So that's an exponentially beneficial result. To top that, the high operating costs of gas turbines and the high maintenance costs of gas turbine increases the favor of electrical drives in a much more impactful way. So the scope 1 CO2 avoidance through this kind of solution is in the range of 2,000 to 4,000 tons per year per megawatt. And this is a conservative estimate. We have customers saying the savings or the carbon avoidance is much beyond this. So delving a bit deeper into the solution. So this is the existing compressor train, which is driven by a gas turbine with existing control system and auxiliaries. The solution is converting this into a completely electrical solution in which Siemens Energy can play the entire scope, of course, together with certain partners, in which we have this gearbox, the electrical drive, the converters, the control system, the transformers, the switch gears, the grid integration, etc. Alternatively, we could also have a gearbox less system without a gearbox, coupling it to a high-speed motor generator. So the benefits of the customers are huge. Of course, there are no NOx, CO2, anything on the e-drive. The efficiency per se, if you compare apples to apples, it's 25 to 35 in a turbine drive versus a greater than 95% efficiency on an electrical drive. The speed range of the turbine drive is narrow. For the e-drives, it has a full range of speed which it can cater to. The dynamic response time is much shorter, like it's less than 1 minute in an electrical drive. The maintenance per se is the biggest business case driver here. It has an extremely low maintenance compared to considerable maintenance of a turbine drive. And this is a very viable decarbonization pathway compared to alternate routes. So, for example, if you consider turbine drive plus CCUS, it has limitations of complex infrastructure, high investment, large footprints, compared to a carbon avoidance solution of an e-drive, which is simpler, economical, and proven. Having said this, I mean, turbines are good, but probably not the best solution for compression drives. As Siemens Energy, we build turbines and we are proud of that, but we also say for compression drives, we have a better solution. So now coming to the economics, I can't quote the exact numbers, but this is a comparison of in an empirical form. For example, for a gas turbine package, if the cost is X, the capex is X. For an e-drive solution, the capex would be probably 40% of that. The OPEX, if you see for a gas turbine, if it's Y, the OPEX for an electrical drivetrain would be about 15% of that. And the total cost of ownership, you can see, is significantly lower. For brownfield conversions, what we estimate is a return on investment of less than 3 to 5 years. We heard our esteemed customer speaking this morning exactly about a project that we did for them. They got their ROI in 9 months, in less than 1 year. So these are some of the success stories. This is a success story in India at Gas Authority of India Limited, GAIL, in MP, in Madhya Pradesh. There we converted a gas turbine fired system with a 3.6 MV motor and a gearbox system, and the entire control system, automation system, except the civil work. The customer benefits are as listed. The reduction of carbon emissions were projected at 6,500 tons per year. What the customer says is that they have reduced it by 12,000 tons per year. Another example of a success story is what we did in Croatia. So this was a steam turbine replacement with a direct high-speed drive, and it's operating since 2 years now almost, without any problems, and the customers are really happy. Likewise, we have various other references all over the globe. The key takeaway is electrification or e-drive as prime movers is a simple, proven and economical solution, and it's a low-hanging fruit for industrial decarbonization. Thank you.
So thanks for patient hearing, and thanks my panelists for coming here and delivering this thing. Thank you. Thanks.